Wow. Welcome on Eagle Swings Television Network, the platform God reaches people around the world with the mandate of populating heaven and plunging hell. That is our mandate. You might be surprised why I have masks on my around my nose and my mouth, wearing my face mask, right in the house. I'm not supposed to be putting on, but except maybe I'm going out. But I just want to tell you, peradventure you are going through some time now, and it seems that God is silent. I want to preach to you on the topic I title, If God or When God is Silent. What do you do? When you have prayed, you have waited, you have fasted, you have followed prophetic instruction, and you have tried and obeyed God in your little way. And it looks as if God is not responding your prayer. Can you imagine what Daniel would have been feeling after he has prayed on the first day and the miracle was released, and it never came until the 21st day? So many of you have waited for months, for years. I have a good news for you. And that's why the Lord asked me to speak to you. Now, quickly, Revelation chapter 8. I'm quickly going to read some couple of verses. Okay, all right. Revelation chapter 8. I want you to just listen. And when the Lamb opened the seventh seal, and there was silence in heaven for about half an hour. And then I saw the seventh angel who stood before the Lord, and with seven trumpets were given to them. And another angel came and stood at the altar with the golden incense, and he was given much incense to offer with the prayers of the saints on the golden altar before the throne. Your prayer is part of it, but something happened. Now, if you read that previous verses, it says there was a silence for a pace of half an hour. My goodness, never forget that a day before God is 1,000 years before us. So if there was a silence in heaven for the pace of half an hour, can you calculate how many years it will be on earth? Maybe there are so many of you thought maybe God will not answer you, God has forgotten you, God will not do it. I have a good news for you. When God is silent, number one, he's preparing the best for you. When God is silent, number one, he's preparing the best for you. I repeat that again. When God is silent, you have prayed, you have fasted. Because God is late doesn't mean he's a denier. He's not denying you. All right? Now, because anything is late, God is preparing the latest for you. Understand that. All right? Remember the case of Hannah. She got a child very late in her life, even at the point where she was mocked. She went on every day to Shiloh, cried to God, but there was no response. But when the child came as Samuel the prophet, the first prophet in the land of Israel. All right, broken all the records. It looked very late, but God gave her the best. Now, when God is silent, number two, he wants to show his power. He wants to show his power for you, to your family, to your friend, even to your enemies. That he is a God that can redeem, that can bring you from the dunghill. Remember the story, all right, of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. At the point where they boasted that their God was able to save them, but yet they pushed them in the fire. But in the fire, the fourth man appeared and turned the fire into air condition. Whatever the enemy meant to consume you, do you know God is using it for your favor? Do you know that? All right, God wants to show his power. I remember there's a story of a man that told me, very interesting story. He got a donkey, and at the point where he got the donkey, he was tired of the donkey. He dug a pit to throw in the donkey. Okay, and by the time he dug the pit, he threw the donkey in. He now started covering the donkey in, right with the soil inside the hole. At the point where he was pouring the sand or the soil on the donkey, do you know what the donkey was doing? The donkey was shaking it, and the soil just fall to the ground. Pour it on the donkey will shake it off, the soil will fall on the ground. And the soil that was meant to bury the donkey actually helped the donkey to jump out of the pit. Wow! Glory be to God. So you might think you are in the pit. Do you understand it now? God wants to show his power. God wants to give you the best. God wants that same pit that your enemy has dug for you. In the case of Daniel, God wants the same pit to swallow your enemy. The lion they thought would swallow Daniel. What happened? It was those that plotted against Daniel, them and their family, all right, that were consumed by the lion. I don't know, maybe you are feeling that God has kept too long. He's preparing the best for you. He wants to show you his power. So get ready for a new time and a new season that God is preparing for you. Till I come your way again, I remain Apostle Sam on Eagle Swing Television. Sharp, sharp. Bye.